When it comes to homeowners insurance, most people believe they're fully covered for any unexpected incidents that might occur. After all, that's the purpose of having insurance, right? However, what many don't realize is that there are numerous coverage gaps in typical homeowners insurance policies that can leave you in a difficult financial situation when you need help the most. In fact, these gaps in coverage can result in insurance claims being denied or payouts being significantly reduced, leaving you to cover the costs on your own. The worst part is, many homeowners don't discover these gaps until they're trying to make a claim, which could be too late to adjust your policy before an emergency happens. So let's take a deep dive into 9 of the most common coverage gaps that homeowners should be aware of. We'll also explore real policy examples and explain why these gaps exist and how you can take action to protect yourself from them. First, let's talk about water damage from floods. Many people mistakenly assume that their homeowner's insurance will cover all types of water damage, including flooding. But this is a critical gap in coverage. A standard homeowner's insurance policy will not cover water damage caused by flooding. Flooding is typically defined as an overflow of water from natural sources, such as rivers, lakes, or heavy rainstorms. This kind of damage requires separate flood insurance, which is often sold by the federal government through the National Flood Insurance Program. Without flood insurance, if your home is damaged by a flood, you could be looking at tens of thousands of dollars in repairs that your regular policy won't cover. Flood-prone areas are especially at risk, so it's important to check if you live in one of these areas and make sure to add flood insurance to your policy. Next, let's look at a gap that many people overlook: maintenance issues. Homeowners insurance is designed to cover sudden and accidental damages, not those caused by lack of regular maintenance. So, if a problem arises from your failure to maintain your home, your insurer will likely deny your claim. For example, if your roof leaks over time due to a lack of proper maintenance, and that leak eventually causes water damage to the interior of your home, your insurance is unlikely to cover the repair costs. It's important to stay on top of regular home maintenance to avoid these situations. Insurance is not a substitute for proper upkeep, and this is a common misunderstanding that can leave homeowners with unexpected repair bills. The third coverage gap involves mold damage. Mold can be a serious problem in your home, leading to structural damage and health concerns. But unfortunately, many homeowners insurance policies exclude coverage for mold damage, unless it's caused by a specific covered event, such as water damage from a burst pipe or storm. In most cases, mold damage is considered a maintenance issue, and as such, it's not covered by a standard policy. If you live in a humid area or your home is prone to water damage, mold can be a major issue. So you might want to look into purchasing separate mold coverage to protect yourself. Otherwise, you'll be left with significant repair costs if mold becomes a problem. Now, let's talk about home business equipment. If you run a business from your home, it's essential to know that most homeowners insurance policies do not cover business equipment, inventory, or other business-related losses. While your personal items are covered, anything related to your business is often excluded. So if your laptop, office furniture, or inventory is damaged or stolen, you'll likely have to rely on separate business insurance to cover those losses, even if you run a small business from home. This is a gap that could catch you off guard. Many people don't realize that their home insurance doesn't automatically cover business-related property, and if you don't add a rider for business coverage, you could be facing financial trouble. Another major gap involves dog bite liability. If your dog bites someone and causes injury, you could be held liable. For medical expenses and other damages, however, many homeowners' policies have exclusions related to dog bites, especially if the breed of dog is considered high risk. Certain breeds, such as pit bulls or Rottweilers, are often excluded from coverage, and if your dog bites someone, you could be left responsible for paying out of pocket for the costs of the injury, even if you have homeowners insurance. It's important to check with your insurer about their policy on dog bites and consider adding liability coverage for pets if necessary. Otherwise, you could be exposed to substantial legal and medical fees. The sixth gap we are going to cover is earthquake damage. Earthquakes can cause widespread damage, including structural damage to your home, but most homeowners' insurance policies do not cover earthquake damage. Like flood insurance, earthquake coverage is typically sold as a separate policy in earthquake-prone areas. This is an especially important gap to address if you live in a region with seismic activity. You may need to add earthquake coverage to your policy to ensure that you're protected. Otherwise, you could face massive repair bills if your home is damaged in an earthquake. Next is the issue of sewer backups. Sewer backups can be disastrous, causing significant water damage to your home. Yet many homeowners' policies exclude this type of damage. If a sewer line bursts or there's a backup that floods your basement, you'll likely find that your insurance won't cover the damage. Sewer backup coverage is typically an optional add-on to your policy, so if you're concerned about this potential risk, it's important to add it. Otherwise, you'll be left with expensive cleanup and repair costs, especially if your basement or lower levels are affected. Let's also discuss personal property coverage while away from home. Many homeowners' insurance policies offer limited coverage for personal property that is lost, stolen, or damaged while away from your home. For example, if you're traveling and your luggage is stolen, your policy may not provide full compensation for the value of the items lost. The coverage is often limited and may not cover high-value items such as jewelry, electronics, or important documents. So if you travel frequently or take expensive items with you, you may want to consider additional coverage or a rider to protect those belongings while you are on the go. Another gap to be aware of is negligence in the event of an accident. Homeowners insurance typically does not cover damage or injuries resulting from negligence. For example, if a guest is injured in your home due to a dangerous condition that you should have addressed, such as a slippery floor or broken stairs, your policy may not cover the medical costs or any legal fees associated with the injury. This is a situation where homeowners may be surprised to find out that they are responsible for the costs. So it's important to maintain a safe environment in your home and address potential hazards promptly to avoid these situations. Now that you're aware of these coverage gaps, it's important to take action to protect yourself and your home. Reviewing your homeowner's insurance policy regularly is crucial. Make sure you understand what's covered and what's not. Don't hesitate to reach out to your insurance provider